Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning here at Motivated Strength. I'm your host, Shane Schultz. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way, you can take on life's challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. Now, if you happen to be new to the show, I want to say thank you for taking the time to see what it is that we're doing here. What we do at Motivated Strength is that we use what I call the optimal frame of mind. The optimal frame of mind is a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking can lead us to a higher level of living. Isn't that what we're all looking for in the first place? Now, motivated strength comes from a number of different challenges. Now, I know that it's called motivation and everything in that sense. And believe me, when I was younger, right on through yesterday, I can tell you that I love motivation. I love being inspired. I love, being told, get up, let's go, let's rock and roll. I love it. I always did. But I also realize what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do here is help you and me that are dealing with some sort of different challenges, whether it be chronic pain, chronic illness, mental illness, maybe life experiences that you just can't let go because it doesn't seem fair or right. The idea is to help you reach outside of what it is that you're ailed by. So we take things in a little bit different direction. We utilize the higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking leads us to a higher level of living. Now, you may not realize it yet, but I'm dealing with some back spasms as we speak. I've been dealing with them for over the weekend and also right on through yesterday. So I know what it's like to go through these types of challenges, believe me. And I'm not trying to tell you something that you don't already know. That's right. I'm not trying to tell you something that you don't already know. I've made it very clear that those who are going through these types of challenges, they're not inept. They're not incapable. You're not, to the point as to where you're not able to get things done. You are able, and you want to be told that you're able to be. You want to be supported in a way that's going to make a difference for you. You want to be able to accomplish things that you otherwise wouldn't think of, because of what it is that you might be dealing with. The problem is that we adapt to what our ailments are. We adapt to the symptoms. We adapt to the pain. We adapt to the illness. And it's hard because, once we start banging our head on a ceiling, sometimes we just kind of stop. We said, okay, we're done with that. It's easy to find ourselves adapting in that sense. But what we want to do is that we want to make a change, don't we? We want to make a change to where we're reaching outside of what it is that we're ailed by so that we can not only not hit our head on the ceiling, but we can crash through it so that we can reach outside of whatever it is that's been stopping us, whatever it is that's been, keeping us stuck, and finding other accomplishments that are just waiting for us in the future. Other, goals that are waiting for us to take hold of so as to be able to make a difference in our lives, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. Now, what we're going to talk about is starting over, right? Now, I know that a lot of people, they get tired of starting over, right? It's really hard to deal with a number of different challenges that you might deal with and say, how many times can I start over? Take it from somebody who knows it from an addiction standpoint, all right? I'm an addict. I've dealt with addiction for the majority of my life. And I can tell you that when we're talking about those types of things, how many times do you start over? How many times do you try again? Do you keep on doing things? How many times when you have pain and when you have spasms and when you have illness, how many times do you start over to try to be able to fit in or to try to be more than the challenges that you face? Well, here's the thing. The reason why we have a tough time starting over is because sometimes we don't want to lose what it is that we have. And what it is that we have, it doesn't matter whether or not that it's a negative or a positive, but what we have, we know is absolute. We know it's there for us. Yeah, there are some experiences that we've had that have been negative in our world, but we know that they're there. We know that it's an absolute. And so we do not want to start over. Sometimes when we start over, it feels as if like we're going backwards, but that's not the case at all. See, the thing is sometimes we need to stop worrying about what it is that we are losing by starting over and start realizing what it is we have to gain because we start over. See, every time that you have the opportunity to start over, it's just that. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to change things. It's an opportunity to change your mindset. It's an opportunity to change the results. Every time that you find yourself asking your question, why am I going to do this again? Why do I even bother? You know, I know that I've dealt with it myself, right? I've dealt with chronic nerve pain for the past 3 years. I have an injury in my neck. It's a C5 through C7. I got to tell you, I got frustrated to the point as to where I said, you know what? Why? Why do I keep on bothering? I mean, I've had 8 MRIs. I've dealt with a number of different doctors that told me, 3 nerve stimulation tests. They tell me it's in the neck. They know where it is. They just cannot be able to do surgery so as to be able to give me my dominant hand back the way that it used to be. Because my dominant hand is affected in a way that it's numb, it's in pain, and in some cases it's a little bit disabled. All right? But here's the thing. I was finding myself adapting to what that situation is. When my doctor told me that this is a permanent pain management situation, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I wasn't done yet. I was still ready to fight. I was still ready to go whatever it took in order to be able to make a difference. Whatever it took to be able to give me my hand back. Whatever it took in order to be able to do the things that I am used to doing, like playing golf or like driving. One thing that I've noticed recently is that, maybe that me driving my car might have something to do with my neck. It might actually have something to do with the problem that I have. But am I going to stop driving my car? I mean, I didn't have a license for over 6 years. Am I going to stop driving my car because of that? I don't think so. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to start over however many times it takes in order to be able to manage myself a little bit differently. We need to stop worrying about what it is that we're losing in the past, and we need to start thinking about what it is that we're gaining in the future, what opportunities that we're giving ourselves, what attention that we are giving ourselves that is making a difference for ourselves, not only for us, but also for others. I mean, think about that. When we're sitting there and we are accepting some things, right? And we are accepting some things and we're adapting to the symptoms and we're adapting to the pain, how enjoyable are we to be around? I mean, really. I mean, I can tell you this, when my life was being changed, just where I couldn't work out, or I couldn't play golf, or I really couldn't drive a car, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that, I can tell you this, I wasn't altogether happy. I was frustrated. I was, angry. I was upset. There's a lot of different things that I was. You think that I was the most enjoyable person to be around? Of course not. So when we're sitting here and we give ourselves the opportunity to start over, think about it from an opportunity standpoint. Think about it from a renewed standpoint. I'm not saying that it's always going to work, right? I lived in 16 states in this country. I could tell you it doesn't always work when you start over because you have to do it in the right frame of mind. That's where we get it done because we're talking about the optimal frame of mind allowing us to be able to be effective when we would go ahead and start over. When we're effective, then that's something different. We're not just starting over to do it. We're starting over to make a change. We're starting over to see a different result. And how we do that is through a higher way of thinking, that higher way of thinking that'll lead us to a higher level of living. You probably are going through some things that maybe I might go through. Some of the things that I go through are clinical depression, borderline personality disorder traits. I also go through codependency. I go through addiction, right? I mentioned that. And also I deal with chronic nerve pain. Those are just some of the things that I've dealt with over my lifetime, and you probably can identify with some. And if not the exact same symptoms or the exact same diagnosis, you probably have something that kind of relates to what it is that I'm talking about. So I know what it's like to go through these challenges. So I'm not just sitting there and saying, oh, you just got to be better. You just got to think differently. You just got to think differently and leap tall buildings in a single bound. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to make the change for you. So that when you make the change for you, it makes the change not only for yourself, but also for others. And then everything starts changing and you start making a difference. All right, listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way you can take on life's challenges as they are. Those things like doctor appointments, therapy sessions, group sessions, how about work issues, how about home issues, whatever it is. It allows you to be able to take on those challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. You who deals with chronic pain, you who deals with mental illness, you who deals with issues that you've had and experiences that you've had in the past, you who deals with those challenges and struggles, it's for you as well. So that you can then take it and you can make a change that's going to make a difference for you. I promise you, this is going to make a difference. All right, now listen. I enjoy likes. I really do. I love them on Instagram. I love them on Facebook. I love them on YouTube. I really do. But what I really need you to do is make a comment. Leave me a comment to let me know what it is that we can do to help you. Because this show is for you. It's not just about me, myself, and I talking into this camera. It's about you. It's about helping you. My purpose is to help you reach outside of what it is that you're ailed by, to empower you to be who it is that you're meant to be versus who you might merely exist to be. All right? So we're going to do this together. We're a community together. We're going to reach outside of what it is that is keeping us stuck. I hope you have an extraordinary day. It's about purpose and passion. Remember that. That's what means the most. All right? I hope you have an extraordinary day. We'll talk to you again soon.